Hey fellow readers, welcome and/or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell, and today I'm going to tell you whether or not you should read the Book of Gothel by Mary McMine. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I'm really happy to be bringing you this video because I just finished possibly one of my favorite books of the year, and that is the Book of Gothel by Mary McMine. Now, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. If not, I'm really sorry. But I will say that this book was phenomenal. I read this book this last week, and it is, I think, going to be kind of a divisive book. I think that it's definitely catered to a certain reader, and that is going to be someone that likes atmospheric reads, someone that likes character-driven reads, someone who enjoys fairy tale retellings and books that take their time to get there, and the story is not about, you know, advancing a plot and getting somewhere, but really the story is about like the actual journey itself of the character. Let me tell you a little bit about this book. So the Book of Gothel is a Rapunzel retelling. It is about Dame Gothel, and that is the famous witch who abducts Rapunzel and keeps her hidden in a tower where her hair grows and grows, and she has super long hair, long enough to fall down the tower wall and for Dame Gothel to use to climb up the tower every time she comes home. So this book takes a whole different approach to the classic story of Rapunzel, and it actually explores Dame Gothel's life. And her name is Hailwise, and I'm not sure, I think in German maybe that's pronounced Hailweiss, but it starts with her as a child, as a little girl, and it follows her through her later teenage years into early adulthood, and then also covers just like what becomes of her life and everything from there. The book starts with a prologue, and that prologue is actually about a professor who is contacted by an old woman who lives near the Black Forest in Germany, and she contacts her about looking at a manuscript. So the professor goes to Germany and looks at the manuscript and reads it, and when she's reading it, that is the story that we are reading, the Book of Gothel. And I love how that's done. I really like the idea of this being like this real world discovery of this story, this new version of a fairy tale, and that was really cool. I thought that was wonderfully done. I also thought that the book itself covered a lot of really interesting topics, such as religion and feminism, and a discussion of like the old ways versus the new ways. I think that this book really had a lot of similar vibes to Catherine Arden's The Bear and the Nightingale. So I really do truly believe that if you enjoyed The Bear and the Nightingale, then you will enjoy the Book of Gothel. Other books that I think would be good comparisons are possibly Uprooted by Naomi Novik, maybe Spinning Silver, but I actually haven't read that. And that's also by Naomi Novik. It also has been compared in its summary on Goodreads to The Wolf and the Woodsman, which I know has often been compared to The Bear and the Nightingale, so I can totally see that. I'm looking forward to reading The Wolf of the Woodsman. It's on my 5-star predictions. I think I will enjoy that book. And I would also say if you like Juliette Marillier, the author Juliette Marillier, I think that you might also enjoy the Book of Gothel, because this is a historical fantasy that has a soft magic and or like folk magic element to it. So this is not like a hard magic system. This is like old historical like folk magic type of magic system. And I really love stories that do incorporate folk magic. That's just something that I really enjoy. So if you are someone that likes soft magic systems and or folk magic in your books, I think that you will really truly like this book as well. The Book of Gothel also has a lot of elements of tragic love. It follows a beautiful love story that is not perfect, and so there is tragedy in that, and disappointment and beauty, and I really enjoyed that. There is also beautiful imagery in this book. I really loved the descriptions of the gardens, the uses of herbs, the descriptions of food were totally mouthwatering. There was some awesome description of food, especially like fall flavors. I think this book would be a wonderful book to read in autumn because number one, it's got that cozy feel. It's set in the woods, and the descriptions of food are wonderful. There's descriptions of roasted meats and apples and strudel and warm spices and root vegetables and just all of those things that you really think of in the fall. And there are magical apples, and yeah, this is a very autumnal fairy tale, an atmospheric folk magic filled character story, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This won a place in my heart, and I cannot wait to read it again. I'm hoping I actually do have time to read it again this fall, because I do actually want to reread it that soon. I gave this book 5 stars. I just loved it. I loved it. And I was expecting to have a good experience. I was expecting to enjoy this book, but I just wasn't expecting to love it so intensely. But I do, and I did. So I just want to go through a few things. I'll put a little graphic up here, and I just want to go through, if you are interested in reading this book but you're still unsure, just a few things to keep in mind. So if you like this, then you should read it, type of thing. And then well, if you prefer this, on the other hand, maybe you should wait for some more reviews to come out. So, starting off, if you like character-driven stories, then you should read this book. If you like atmospheric settings where the atmosphere takes much higher precedence in the story than the plot, then you should read this. So, atmosphere over plot. If you like soft and or folk magic systems, you should definitely read this book. If you're looking for an autumnal cozy read, maybe you should check this book out. If you're looking for a tragic love story, and not necessarily like a Shakespeare tragic, but just like if you're looking for an imperfect love story. So just a few things to consider if you prefer these elements in a story. Maybe you should wait a little bit longer to see if this book is the right book for you. And that is, if you prefer plot-driven stories, this might not be the book for you. If you prefer hard magic systems in your fantasy books that are really complex and based in science, then you may not like this book. And if you like more urban fantasy settings and you don't really like folk magic or folk or fairy retellings, and you like a more urban setting, then you might reconsider reading this book, just depending on what you're looking for. So I'll say again, I absolutely love this book. If you are interested in reading it, it does come out July 26th. And I want to actually do something a little bit different. I want to shout out 3 booktubers that I think are going to love this book, and that if they read this book, I would love to know their thoughts and feelings on it, because I just have a feeling they're really going to enjoy it. The first booktuber I want to give a shout out to is Abby Salter. I really think Abby will love this book. If you don't already follow her channel, I don't know what you're doing. She's awesome. Go check her out. She has a lot of wonderful content. Another booktuber that I think will enjoy this book is Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction, and she is a beautiful, wonderful YouTuber that does really awesome reading vlogs. So if you haven't already subscribed to her, go check her out. Check out her content. She has a lot of fun stuff on her channel, And also, based on her reading taste, I do think that she will definitely enjoy this book. And finally, Kristen is fully booked. She is such a sweetheart, and she has recently done a video where she talks about Juliet Marillier's backlist and where you can get started with that author. And I am a fan of Juliet Marillier and thought it was a wonderful video. And so I do think that she would really enjoy this book as well. Go check out her channel, and if you are a fan of Juliet Marillier or you're interested in reading Juliet Marillier books, definitely go check that video out. I will link it down below. I thought it was wonderful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is my first review. I have never done a review before, so I hope I covered, just the basics, some themes and ideas that are covered in the book, and whether or not I think that you might enjoy this book based on certain elements and plot devices, etc. I hope you did enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching my first ever book review video. I enjoyed doing it. I hope it was helpful. And once again, if you are interested in checking out the Book of Gothel, then it is released on July 26th. And let me know, are you going to be reading the Book of Gothel? Or have you also enjoyed any of the other books that I mentioned on this video? And finally, are there any new releases coming out that you are really interested in reading? If you like this video, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you have not already subscribed. If you click the notification bell, you can be notified of every time that I post new content. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.